Okay, so Screencast-O-Matic quit on me before, and I lost the um, the window, but it was still recording, so apologies. If you remember, we looked at Web of Science, and we were looking at social media, and we found this good-looking article despite its cultural specificity about being about Afghanistan. But if we look at the article, we see it has an abstract, an introduction, some methods and sampling procedures and instruments it talks about. And it gives us some what might be pretty useful um, data about this. It has a discussion and some conclusions. It's pretty quick to read. It's just a few pages, and then you'll see all the sources. Definitely look through the sources when you find a good article. You'll notice that there's a study about internet addiction and depression, anxiety, and stress from educational sciences, and you'll see there's links here. Um, Scan through these sources. Some of them will be academic, um, but some might not necessarily be academic. So check them out. Oftentimes, when you find one or two good sources, you're really set. So we've looked at Academic Search Complete. We looked at Web of Science. I showed you guys the subject guides. You might think about how your topic is studied. You might, for instance, with social media and the psychological effects, you might go to the Psych Research Guide just to check it out. I want to show you quickly just two other resources that can be really helpful. And they're not on the library webpage. So let me make sure you can see the URL bar here. But we're going to go to Public Library of Science. So this is open source academic publishing. And it's called PLOS ONE, Accelerating the Publication of Peer-Reviewed Work. And I have friends who publish on here. And you don't need to go in through the library. It's free for people to access. It's really a kind of neat utopian vision, sort of like Wikipedia, but it's peer-reviewed. So if I'm looking at, I'm not sure why those searches come up, but if I'm looking at, say, immigration, to use some of yours, so it's not just hard science, but looking at a social phenomenon, among others. And if we search immigration with my slow connection speed at the moment, we'll see if stuff comes up. You can see that PLOS ONE is a nonprofit. And it's scientific, so it's going to be just a range of things. There's 5,000 results there, but one is about tuberculosis in a large scale with large scale immigration. Another one's about trust, generalized trust, cross-group friendship, and anti-immigrant sentiments in 21 European societies. And I remember one of you guys was interested in this specific topic. Citizenship, along with immigration and mental health of adolescents. So you'll want to further limit your source, but you're going to find a lot in here. So you'll want to do an advanced search, and you'll look for immigration, and then you can add another topic, immigration and environmentalism. So we'll do a Boolean search that you guys learned about. Way more specific. I have no idea what's going to come up, but it just popped into my head. Not sure how good this will be, but you can look through this. And again, all it takes is skimming through and finding one excellent article to really put you on the right path, right? So we might think, well, environment didn't work well, but we might do immigration. Maybe we'll try environmental impacts. I don't know if that's a good search term. Pro-environment, so a lot of this is Canadian, but we can check it out in this way. All right, I won't spend a long time on that, but if we were live in class, I'd be a little more patient. So there's +1, and then the other one you guys are probably way more familiar with is Google Scholar. And you go on Google Scholar, and already they're like, okay, here are articles about COVID-19 in all these different journals, and some of them might even be a database. I'm not sure what medRxiv is, or if it's Med14 or whatever it is. But if we're looking at AI again, you're going to see a ton that you'll have to limit further, and they tend to be, scholarly articles. A lot of these, it's better to get through the library databases because you might not be able to access them here. But artificial intelligence, for instance, there's a whole book on Bayesian artificial intelligence, the principles of it, a modern approach. It's definitely worth searching. All right. So we've looked at Academic Search Complete. We've looked in part 1 at the subject guides. I showed you Web of Science, +1, Google Scholar. Again, it's all about your search terms and your skill or dexterity about thinking about different keywords, which is part of the reason you've been researching your topic already on Pew, CQ Researcher, newspapers, magazines, and importantly in the reference sources. That said, if you're having trouble finding academic articles, please don't hesitate to get in touch. And that's it for now. Just a reminder to keep track of your sources. Keep a good list of author, title, publication, and next week I'll show you how to get them either into an APA references page or an MLA works cited page, which is pretty straightforward.